there is an American EV.
You just almost ran us off the road.
No acknowledgement even. What has happened to everybody in this world? All right, hello and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, please do like and subscribe.
We're starting again.
And today, we are going to talk about our Rivian experience.
Oh boy.
Because I need to vent and, well, you're here for it. All right, so as you can see, we are clearly still not in our Rivian, despite being told 4 weeks ago that we were a few days away from it, and now coming up on 2 years with our reservation. So buckle up and let's drive and get into it.
That's right.
All right, so I will caveat all of this with saying I'm still excited for it. That hasn't really diminished. And overall, I think the brand is doing some really awesome things. I love that, you know, there is an American EV.
You just almost ran us off the road.
No acknowledgement even. What has happened to everybody in this world? So I'm excited that there's an American EV startup to cheer for that doesn't have a sociopath in charge of it.
Well, we're not sure he's not a sociopath.
He seems, I mean, I've watched lots of interviews and stuff. RJ seems reasonable. Who knows? Give him enough money and success and you never know.
Exactly.
But you know, I think it's awesome to see, like, I've been cheering for them. It seems like they're doing great. I think, you know, the next year is really going to tell. Feels like they're turning a corner from, you know, just burning money to, you know, getting to a more sustainable place. And not that it's been a problem, like they have plenty of reserves to sit on and everything. And the deals with Amazon certainly help, but now they're branching out even beyond that. So anyway, I'm excited for Rivian as a company. I'm excited for our car, but they've got to fix their customer service. And maybe we are the only edge case here that is super out there and totally unexpected. But if that were the case, I would expect a little bit more acknowledgement of that and like them actually trying to do something to rectify it. So here's our situation. We put a pre-order with the $1,000 refundable deposit down in April of 2022. So about 19 months ago. And all of that was fine. Like I figured it was going to be about a 2-year wait, maybe even a little bit more based off of how long other people had been waiting. But I was also optimistic that as they kind of ramped up production and as they kept raising their production targets and exceeding them, that you know, that would mean faster deliveries and basically our window would be shifted up more. And then in back in, what was that, like July, June, maybe somewhere earlier this year, when they updated it must have been end of July, I think is when they did it. When they updated the estimated delivery windows again, ours was moved all the way up to November through December of this year. So I got like marginally excited, and you know that seemed to be in line with what I expected based on the increased production that they were hitting with the R1S, and just how fast you were seeing R1Ts, especially going out to customers basically immediately. And so then, you know, I still like kind of figured, you know, we just sit and wait and see when things happened. Then at the very end of September 28th, and I know because I've been through all of this correspondence 1,000 times now to verify everything, we got an email that it was time to confirm our configuration, which would take the $1,000 deposit to a non-refundable one now, and basically get us ready for production. So we did that, locked in everything that we wanted. In the meantime, I was told, I had checked with the customer service a few times just about what options for delivery were and what effect changing configuration would have on our delivery window, because I'd seen like they were doing more and more production on dual motor versions, and we've got the quad one. So I you know, was asking about like potentially changing to that to speed it up or just to save some money. And they told us basically that, you know, since they were just starting to hit production on that, there was a longer queue ahead, and if we just stuck with our configuration, it would likely be faster. So we did that. And then after we locked our configuration, I noticed that in my account we had a guide assigned, so I reached out to them and heard back the next week that essentially we already had a VIN assigned and our car was in production.
1 second.
So, very beginning of October, basically, for that. And at that point, I wanted to make sure that we explored all of the different options and everything. So I asked about, our options for delivery, whether, they were doing home delivery, service center delivery, or if you even had the option to do a factory delivery. And I was told that, yes, we could do factory delivery, but we needed to let them know immediately because the car was already in production and they needed to confirm that before it was basically loaded up onto a transporter. And so, to me, that signifies that it is, very, very close to being complete. So I figured we had a couple of days left at that point. Then, I think so actually at that point we switched to factory delivery to get it even faster. And the goal was that we would actually have it for this exact trip that we're driving on right now, here, second week of November, because we're driving down from New Jersey to Asheville. We went along or past kind of the Blue Ridge Parkway where Rivian installed a bunch of their Rivian Adventure Network chargers. And I was super excited to check those out and also just to be in the Rivian, be nice and comfortable in there and get to take a road trip, fully electrically and not gas powered. And so, just really got excited for that. And it seemed totally reasonable. We had almost a month, or at least 4 weeks, basically, between the time that we were confirming this stuff and when this trip was going to be. So, then another 2 weeks went by. We still heard absolutely nothing. I kept checking in, and we were just continuously told that, yeah, the car is in production, and we would hear back soon. Then a little bit after that, about 2 weeks ago, I confirmed or tried to confirm again with them, and I had noticed that in my account it went from the delivery estimate being November through December to saying that it was processing the estimate. After that point, I still really was not getting very much correspondence back from them, and every message was delayed response, very little information, and not directly addressing my questions. So then one day I got an automated email from Rivian saying that we would get an updated delivery window estimate at the end of November, which is when the overall updates would be, for everybody kind of in the queue. So that kind of set me off, and I understand that, that's just an automated thing and it wasn't specific to our case, but that took me off enough that I immediately scheduled a call, sent emails, texted every person I could find at Rivian, and tried to figure out what was going on. And basically at that point we found out that what had happened was when we changed the delivery location to the factory, it took our VIN off and basically reset us. So they were able to attach it back again and confirmed that yet again we were under production and that pre-inspection would be occurring next. So then about a week ago, I checked in again, got basically the same update, and was told that it'd be a few more days until we would receive our invitation to the purchase process. Didn't hear anything again for a few days, kept emailing, wasn't getting responses. Finally, today, I was able to get on the call with them, and we found out that the vehicle that was under production and assigned to us failed the inspection, and basically now we have no vehicle assigned to us. So I get that, that's fine that it failed inspection. If it wasn't produced well, I'm glad they didn't, sell that off to us. I don't want alignment or something that's going to fall apart or be dangerous or anything, of course. But what I really am unhappy about is that there's just absolutely no plan B and essentially no recourse or any other option at this point. So what they offered us was there is one vehicle that is a match to our configuration that's in inventory, and would be ready to go soon, although she also mentioned it was in pre-inspection right now, so who knows what would happen with that one and if you would ever get that. But it had the $2,000 optional underbody shield installed on it, which I don't care about, and I'm never going to use. It's going to add weight to the car, and it's pointless for us. And so they wanted us to pay for that, and I said no, if you're offering it to us, then what can you do to just take care of that? And she said that they can't do anything about it because it's considered an installed part, and so there's no leeway on that. But they could make arrangements on the accessories, like the roof bars and all-weather floor mats. There's no way that we could get those accessories to basically net out, so we would still be paying for something we don't care about. plus getting stuff that we don't care about. So like it doesn't make any sense. So then that left us with the only option, which is what we ended up taking, of having our VIN removed, and they're gonna wait and try to find another one. So that could mean like something pops up in inventory that matches, and hopefully like our guide, I guess, just finds it fast enough and jumps on it, which based on prior performance, I'm not expecting to happen. Or like basically one goes into production that is a match for this configuration. But like it makes no sense to me. Like they're not tying the production to the actual customer orders. They're just like building them in batches, and then like it seems like it's a free-for-all for the guides to like figure out which one to assign to their people and stuff.
And they don't seem to be well trained.
And they're not on top of it, yeah. So, and then she told me that, you know, basically they get like a list a couple times a week of what's in inventory and available, and they can like pick it at that point if it is good or not. So like I don't know, like at this point I don't even like I've got to just get past it. Like thank you all for bearing with me as I vent and process the anger and frustration and disappointment and everything. But it's just like it pisses me off because like they should not have told us any of this stuff. If they had just not said anything and just like let this stuff go through, my expectation would have remained that the car would be coming to us like at the end of the year, or you know, sometime by like April, and I wouldn't have gotten my hopes up for this trip. I wouldn't have my hopes up overall, and I wouldn't be like so ticked off about the whole thing. And then even more than that, like they could have done literally anything this entire time, whether it is
they could have just been proactive in the communication with you, and that would have made this whole situation better.
Instead of me having to check in 10 times every time, waiting 48 hours for a response. Yeah, like I'm project managing this is what I realize is happening. I'm doing my job.
You're not a project manager.
That's a different conversation, but yeah. Like I'm having to do my job to get them to do their jobs, and so like it's really upsetting me. Like I'm every single person I've talked to there has been very like friendly and nice, but I don't care. Like I'd rather they were jerks about it and like actually got something done. It's just like so frustrating to be you know, smiled and like told, oh, this stuff happens, and oh, it's so rare. You know, this is the first time we've ever heard of any of this. I don't care. Then fix it.
Compensate me somehow.
Yeah, and like all of it just falling on us. Like if they had made a single attempt to try to rectify this through, like that's $2,000 for this underbody shield thing. Like just take that loss and make it right for us, or find a way to like, you know, even it out. Like instead of asking me basically to try to work that out with a bunch of crap I don't care about, or like just take the thing off, or like literally offers any other options. I realized afterward too, there was no mention of any of the other configurations like different wheel sizes, or switching to dual motor instead of quad, switching to max pack with that.
No, she can do that. She's going off a script. She spoke with the manager before calling you. They threw this at her. It's the same, like it's like you deal with people at work, right? They're like, here's a script, I'm going to stick to it, and here's what I was told to say, but I'm not going to think outside the box because I'm not paid to think outside the box, or I don't care enough to think outside the box.
I guess that's the problem, is that like there's no problem-solving attempt in any of this. It's just, oh, well, this is what happened, and this is what you do.
It's the same thing with you with the hockey games trying to schedule it. So it's like, no. It's like, wait, time out. Can we do a different configuration of the teams? Can we have a conversation about this? No, it's like full stop. No, it's not on my script. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're just in limbo again. Could be, they literally told us, could be days, could be weeks, could be months. They don't know. Can't put a timeline on it. Which is insane to me. Like, how are you operating a business like this? And especially like they're gonna have bigger problems if they don't straighten this stuff out, as they start to like tail off from all of these pre-orders in this like giant queue of demand. Like, yes, it is a very desirable car, but they're going to run out of people that like are going to take flyers on this stuff and just sit and wait forever without any communication around it. This is a small segment. This is people with a lot of disposable income, people that have a lifestyle that they can even like live with an EV full time, people that can afford this. And like people that are going to accept this versus, you know, like being able to just get one off the lot from Mercedes or BMW, or like even Kia's going to be out with the EV9. Like now, they are going to destroy Rivian if Rivian can't get this stuff together. So like it upsets me also just as this person cheering for Rivian. And so like, I don't know, man. Like, I hope somebody from Rivian is maybe watching this, or knows somebody there or anything. Like, get in touch with me. Like, I would very gladly work through this stuff. I'm really trying to like not let it sour my entire experience here. We've had a lot of positive stuff. I've loved every time we've gone and seen their stuff at the service centers and at the stores and like at car shows and everything. And I want them to succeed, but like, it's just, this is not good. And like, you've got me in your corner, and you're gonna lose me. And like, now I'm gonna be making videos like this, complaining and telling people not to do this. So like, let's find a solution here that isn't just sitting and waiting around twiddling our thumbs. All right. Anyway, with that, let's see. Maybe by the time I get this edited and up, things change. But I highly doubt it. I don't think there's now. Like my last thing was, I was already depressed and figured, maybe at best we'd be able to pick this thing up over Thanksgiving. Not a chance of that now. I don't even think that this is going to happen like by Christmas or New Year's at this point, to be honest. So let's see.
But meanwhile, they took your $1,000 refundable deposit.
Yeah.
It's now non-refundable.
Yeah.
Because you have to lock it in so many months in advance.
Correct. And I don't know how this affects tax things either. If we go past this calendar year, I don't think it matters because it's when we signed the agreement, which was last year. But still, it's just and now I've got to sit on all of this money, keeping it liquid and ready for when they finally tell us that the car is ready. So anyway, not a great experience. Wish I could share some better news and be more happy and enthusiastic about it, but this is where we are. Let me know. I'm sure everyone's going to just say, "Oh, you're such a whiny wiener."
Whiny 2%er. We're
Yeah.
not 2%ers, like 5%ers. Just kidding.
And whatever. But like,
I've
got to process this.
I think this rant is beyond, like, this is just the way we operate in society right now, which is what's also triggering you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you deal with this at work, and it's one of those things where, like, as an individual, I'm expected to perform and I'm expected to deliver at a certain level.
Yes.
And God forbid you hold someone else up to that same standard.
Like,
Or
not even
a
close,
standard.
but a standard. Yeah.
A standard, a minimum level. And that
Right.
is also what's happening with customer service. Like, you put all these friendly people in there, it's like, I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
Yeah.
You're not actually sorry, because if you were sorry, you would do something about it.
Right.
And that's what companies are failing to see. You're not doing anything about it to make it better for me.
Yeah.
And I am your customer. I am the one that's going to keep this brand alive. Right?
All right, sorry, our GoPro overheated just like me. But yeah, exactly. Like, especially considering, Rivian's not advertising right now. This is all word of mouth. And there's a huge difference between us being, people that are going to be out and about. We're going to get a million questions on it. I'm going to be taking this thing to, EV shows, and I'm going to be featuring it on the channel all the time. There's a huge difference in us telling, this great story of amazing customer service and, a good experience and everything, and encouraging people to go out and get a Rivian, and us telling this story and, like, dissuading people from it. So, this stuff needs to change. You can't run a business this way.
You can't run a direct-to-consumer business where you're, like, not ramped up. You're not a Kia. You're not a Honda. You're not a Mercedes, guys.
Yeah. And like, I love the direct-to-consumer business. Otherwise, like, it is less of a hassle. I hate the idea of like having to go into a dealership and anything, but like, this is the downside and thing that's going to need to be fixed about it. All right. Well, anyway, with that, we'll keep you posted. Let me know if you have a Rivian, if you have the same experience or a different one. Let me know. I'm not sure it's going to make me feel any better to hear that you had a good one, but at least let other people know. If you had a bad one, also, I'd love to know that at least we're not alone.
Hi, Anders.
And I forgot to mention, like, I do know a bunch of other people online and that I work with that have had Rivians. Most of them have had very good experiences, but there are a couple other people that have had ones that are not super different. I've heard from a few people, like, when they made changes to their configuration a little bit, like around the time that they were locking it as well, it resulted in huge delays and like really miscommunication too. So there is some consistent threads there. It's not really just us, but this is the most egregious one that I've heard of so far. All right. Well, anyway, with that, thanks for bearing with us through this rant. We'll see you out there on the road.
Maybe in our Buick, maybe in
Probably
our
in our Buick, I was going to say. All right, let's get back to the scenery here because this is really pretty. All right.
All right.
Later.